going on, y'all? It's your boy Alex. Shout out to the Elite Fleet. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can become a member of the Elite Fleet. And I've been hearing everybody talk about how this Dr. Bryant and Cam Newton interview and how she ate him up and she taught him a thing or two or whatever the case may be. And I checked it out, and it was exactly what I thought it was. She said a bunch of nonsense that sounds smart to people who are dumb. And I'm going to elaborate on what I mean by that when I do this reaction. But before I do this reaction, y'all know I don't like to waste too much time, but I got to get this off my chest. I made a video not too long ago about Janae Keough and Big Sean. And I said in that video, black men, as men, we have to start addressing our issue with having children with women that we would not marry. This is something we have to start addressing. It's a major problem. Because I said, although I'm not stupid and I realize you're putting a lot more at risk if you marry a woman and she divorces you than you are by giving her a child and just a child, right? Because a child just entitles a woman to child support. It's not a division of all of your assets. However, it's still stupid because when you have a child with a woman, unless you plan on being a complete deadbeat and never being in your child's life at all, which I will hope that's not your plan, you're going to have to deal with this woman for the rest of your life. Not 18 years, the rest of your life. Some of y'all think it's just the first 18 years. No. When that child goes to college, the baby mother's going to be there. When that child graduates, the baby mother's going to be there. All right? When that child gets married, your baby mother's going to be there. When that child has a child, your baby mother's going to be there. First house, your baby mother's going to be there. Any terminal illnesses or anything, when you go to the hospital to visit them, guess who's going to be there? The baby mother. You understand what I'm saying to you? And you still going to have to pay child support. So again, is that as bad as getting married? No, but it's still stupid. You know what the smarter option is? To either just smash her safely and leave her alone, or just don't smash her at all since she's not deserving of a ring. But many of you aren't doing that. Now, the reason I hated making that video is not because I didn't say anything that's not true. The reason I hated making that video is because I made that video because I believe black men need to hear from other black men how they need to be better. Black men need to hold black men accountable. I made that video talking to my brothers in hopes, even though I know better, that black women would do the same thing with their sisters. But of course not. See, black women don't want to hold each other accountable. And that's a conversation that we don't have. Dr. Bryant has no business talking to Cam Newton about his responsibilities in creating broken homes. Not when 75% of black women are single mothers. Go and talk to your sisters. Let the men talk to the men. Let Cam Newton have a conversation with a man. There's too many broken women out here for you to be in Cam Newton's face because he's rich and he gets you attention. Let's call a spade a spade. Cam Newton is a football player. He shouldn't even be having this conversation. He's ill-equipped to even have this conversation. And the only reason you're having it with him is because he's rich. He's wealthy, he has more money than you, a bigger platform than you, and you want to monetize it. You don't really care about the black community, Dr. Bryant, because if you did, why don't you talk to your sisters? Why don't you sit down with Rihanna and talk to her about how she keeps putting kids into a broken home? Why don't you talk with Haley Bailey and have a conversation with her about how she keeps putting kids in a broken home? Hell, they're famous too. Talk to them. Why don't you talk to Ebony Williams or Ebony K or whatever her name is, the one who's getting artificially inseminated right now, and talk to her about how she's creating a broken home? Oh, I know why you won't talk to them. And this is an early gem. You won't talk to them because you won't get praised like you're getting praised for bashing Cam Newton. If you said the same thing to Rihanna, if you said the same thing to Haley Bailey, if you said the same thing to Ebony K. Williams, women would bash you. They would say that you were black women bashing. You're not a girl's girl and every other thing in the world. They wouldn't allow you to hold them accountable. So you do the easy thing and you attack a black man because you know no one's going to have a problem with you attacking a black man and no one's going to defend it. You took the easy path. You need to be talking to your sisters. This whole damn single parent epidemic would be over if black women just stopped birthing babies without marriage. You know how easy that is? No ring, no baby. It's that damn simple. Y'all keep talking to me about reproductive rights, but what's the point in having them? You're not even using them. Why don't you use your reproductive rights to say, hey, if you so happen to knock me up and you won't marry me, I'm not having your baby. You birds come out here and talk about how you risk death having someone's child. Well, why would you risk death having a child of a man who won't marry you? Why? This is the easier thing. It's way easier to tell women stop having babies out of wedlock than it is to tell men stop sleeping with attractive women who are willing to sleep with you unless you want to marry them. You're asking a man to go against his nature, which is to sleep with attractive women. Asking a woman not to have a baby unless she's married is not asking her to go against her nature. It's not. Women are biologically programmed to attach to whoever knocked them up. So you're just asking them to do what they've done before. Women used to do this for centuries. This was the norm. If he will not marry you, you don't have a baby with him. Now, we got so many damn 304s kicking their legs open left and right, they ain't goddamn bum can have a baby. And you think the problem is the men? Your body, your choice. You're choosing to be single mothers. Your body, your choice. You're choosing to have kids of men you know aren't quality men. Men you know won't marry you. We can end this whole thing by black women going back to having a goddamn standard like every other damn woman predominantly has. And says, I'm not birthing no baby by no man who won't marry me. But y'all won't hold them accountable for that because you don't want to deal with your own sister's attitude, which is a big reason why they're not getting married. You don't even want to deal with them, Dr. Bryant. That's why you're talking to Cam Newton, a football player, about marriage and relationships. I had to get that out my chest. Now, with that being said, let's get into the reaction.
I understand. A lot of people see my situation and I think that I'm not high functioning.
What situation?
See my situation? That's a very vague question, and this for you.
What situation are you referring to that they're looking at and thinking is not high functioning?
Just my life.
Your life entirely, or your life in relationships?
My life.
See, don't deflect. Let's stay here. Your life entirely, or your life in relationships?
Now I'll say this. Cam is coming off as a doofus from jump, but I'll also say this. Cam Newton's show is not designed to be serious. You're supposed to joke around. You're supposed to have some fun with it. This is why I said she shouldn't even be talking to Cam Newton. He's not qualified to talk to her. He's a damn NFL quarterback. He's not a therapist. He's not a marriage counselor. He's not even a relationship coach. He's not even a dating coach. So why are you talking to him? So him being a buffoon right now is no surprise to me because he's Cam. He's just trying to be entertaining. He's not really trying to have a serious conversation. But let's continue.
Both, really.
And they think that you're low functioning.
No, I don't.
You just said people see your life and think you're not high functioning. The opposite of that would be low functioning.
No. Okay, so here you go. You're trying to take my intentions away from this. Can I correct it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or can I give you more?
Yes, more information. Heck yeah.
So, I'm not married, right? I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8. Okay.
No, baby.
Cool.
It's
by how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Now.
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I just want God
about your wife?
I just want God to bring them.
Oh, okay. And you have, so you just.
Because my point is this. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you had said, Dr. Bryant, you said it, I didn't say it, I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
Now, a lot of people say Cam Newton is stupid for saying he's just taking his time and all that. Okay? But he said that because she said it earlier. When he asked her why she's out here giving relationship advice and she's a beautiful woman, but she's unmarried and she doesn't have any kids, her response was, I'm just taking my time. And essentially her response was, my desire to be in a loving, lasting marriage is higher than my desire to have children. That's why I don't have any yet, because I haven't found that loving, lasting marriage. So he's saying the same thing in reverse. Now, I will agree that it's a false equivalency because Dr. Bryant doesn't have any kids. So Dr. Bryant saying her desire to be in a loving, lasting marriage outweighs her desires to have children makes more sense than Cam Newton saying his desires to have children outweigh his desires to be in a marriage. Even though I understand why Cam Newton, who's a multimillionaire, would have a fear of being married, because everybody knows if Cam Newton gets divorced, he's losing half his stuff. He got a baby mama right now who wouldn't even give him his car back. So imagine if he was married. So it's a false equivalency, But I get what he was trying to do. But again, this goes back to the fact that she's talking to a football player. Why are we expecting Cam Newton to be able to function at a high level in this type of conversation? This isn't even his lane. But I digress. Let's continue. So he had a point, but it was a false equivalency.
You're not taking your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time. You're being very action-based.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active. Okay? So you're creating, in disclaimer, the kids are innocent. They are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies, because I can't wait to be a mom, and I love the kids, period.
So I'm going to let you know right now, Dr. Bryant, I believe, is like 36, 40, something. Yeah, I don't see you being a mom. You're going to have a hard time. Them eggs going bad. You're going to have a hard time. You really, really, really wanted to be a mom. Why did you wait so long? You know what? But that's a separate conversation. Now, she's going to run Cam Newton down on this part, and it's his own fault because he just made a false equivalency. But watch how many flaws is about to pop up in what she says. Let's go forward.
But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all, will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. So at what point do you feel the fear, do it anyways? And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior. To say that I am going to create these homes. Oh, let me go better. I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody who you're spending your life with. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and it's selfish.
Just tell me when I can stop.
Now, let me say this. I have no problem with what she just said to Cam Newton. None. That's the same thing that I said to Big Sean. Everything after this is what I have a problem with. And the fact that she refuses to say this to women is what I have a problem with. But everything after this is what I have a problem with. Now we about to really get to the reaction. Let's go.
All these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and it's selfish.
Just tell me when I can stop.
Yeah, almost. That's completely unfair and that's selfish. And so, yes, you're taking your time in this department, but you're not taking your time in this department, which means you're compartmentalizing. And compartmentalizing never works. Compartmentalizing hurts everybody involved. Everybody who's in this box and that box and this box and that box and this box. And then here you go over here trying to figure out what box you're going to feed or entertain or do. Then you're looking outside to figure out who's your next victim to put in the box. It's unhealthy. And it's a huge dysfunction within our Black community that I truly believe personally, statistically, mental health-wise, and community-wise, that Black men will stop.
Now, here's the problem. She said it's a huge problem in our community. I agree. Then she said that I wish Black men would stop. How the hell Black men gonna stop Black women from spreading ego? Cam Newton already had a baby mother. That means his second baby mother and his third baby mother already seen that this man is going to put kids in you and not marry you. Therefore, if his second or his third baby mother desired marriage, they would have never picked Cam Newton. So this tells me one of two things. Either his second and his third baby mother are gold diggers and they picked Cam Newton because he has money, which would validate Cam Newton's fear of getting married, because if he gets married, then one woman can take half of everything he owns. Again, it's stupid to give any woman child support when this is not a woman you plan on spending the rest of your life with, but it is not as crippling as alimony, as I mentioned earlier. If Cam marries a woman and she's a gold digger, it'll cripple him. He'll lose half his empire. He might never recover. Divorce causes men to delete themselves. Divorce causes men to become depressed. Men get cleaned out. All right? So that's number one option. His next two baby mothers must have been gold diggers, or his next two baby mothers don't give a damn about being married either. There is no way you can bend, twist, flip, or bop what I just said. Either his next two baby mothers after his first one don't value marriage either, and they're fine just getting their child support checks and co-parenting with Kim, or they're gold diggers and he was right not to marry him because all they care about is money. Because there is no logical reason you're going to give me for why a sane grown-ass woman would choose to be baby mother number 2 and 3 for a man who has already shown you that he's not going to marry you. And this is my problem with Dr. Bryant. You're going to sit here and say, this is a huge problem in my community, then say, this is an issue with black men. No, the issue is with black women. What we need to figure out is why black women are willing to risk death, because you can die having a baby. Why are you willing to die for a man who won't marry you? Why are you willing to give your highest attribute? The two most valuable things a woman can give any man is her body as in sexual access, or her body as in birthing your child. Why are you giving that to a man who won't even risk his assets? You're risking your life for a man who won't risk his assets for you. Why is that? Why are you women running around letting everybody beat your cheeks and skeet, but you're not making anyone commit? Again, women for hundreds of years have been leveraging their V-Box and their children for marriage. This is recent. This is a recent phenomenon that this stopped happening. So the problem is not with black men. Men, for centuries, have always desired to sleep with multiple women. But women put up the system that stopped that, or at least controlled it, when they said, we're not going to have sex with you or have your children until you marry us, commit to us, take care of us, protect and provide for that. When modern feminism, third and fourth wave came in and gave y'all a sexual revolution, we all started letting anyone spank your cheeks because he was attractive, letting anyone spank your cheeks because he had money, letting anyone spank your cheeks because he had charisma. That's when this became a problem. So don't tell me it's the black man's problem. First of all, it's a black community problem because we have it worse than anyone else. Yes, Hispanics have a 50% out of wedlock child rate. Yes, the white community has a 30% out of wedlock child rate. But we have 75%. You don't say this is a black man problem when it's black women who keep making the same mistakes with the same men, because most black men don't even have kids. That's my issue. This is why I told you guys the second half of the video was going to point out every problem that I have. You talking about this is something we need to talk about with black men. No, you need to talk about it with black women. Why do black women not value themselves enough to get married? Why do black women not value themselves enough not to let men who aren't even committed to them skeet all up in their V-Box? Have that conversation. Let other men talk to men about what we need to be doing. You need to talk to your sisters about why the majority of them are 304s. But you don't want to have that conversation because you know they're not going to listen. Let's continue.
Stop doing that. That they would stop that dysfunctional behavior of compartmentalizing and creating houses, not homes, and then finally a home with the wife. And then you have all these other houses that are homeless. But you over here, at some point when you do get a wife, if you do, I'm saying if that's what you want, you will. You'll get whatever you want. You're trying to create a home. Totally dysfunctional and extremely, that's the epitome of selfish. Epitome of selfish. I'm done. You can go for it.
Okay, say less. All right, so what identifies as a broken home?
Bro said what identifies as a broken home. Look, I'm not trying to kill Cam here because he's ill-equipped to have this conversation as I started off with. But bro is really slow. She might be saying a lot of stuff that sounds smart to people who are dumb, but Cam is definitely saying a lot of things that sound smart to people who are dumb. What he meant to say is what defines a broken home, not what identifies as a broken home. It can't identify as an inanimate object. But let's continue.
Going on with these, whoever you're not in the house with is a broken home. It's called a blended family. It's called a blended family.
That means
that the family is blended. So blended.
So blended means broken.
Yeah.
Okay. So the guy that you were entertaining, you would go as low as 26.
That I would entertain?
Yes.
Okay.
And as high as what age?
Whatever man that doesn't have kids.
As high as
whoever doesn't have kids, whatever age he is with no kids.
I just.
No, that's the age. I'm saying I don't have an age.
That's not the age. She's deflecting. Cam should have said the same thing to her that she said to him earlier. When he said, my life, my life, my life, and she said, stop deflecting, that's what he should be saying to her right now, because that's exactly what she's doing. The man said, what's your age window? You said 26 your lowest, what's your highest? Saying any man who doesn't have kids is not an answer. So if a 90-year-old man doesn't have kids, you're going to have a kid with him? She probably would if he had money. But it's still not an answer. She's deflecting right now. This is why I said what she says sounds smart to people who are dumb. I would have called her on this. Cam can't call her on this, but again, Cam's a jock. This is not his lane, which is why he shouldn't even be having this conversation, which is why she shouldn't be having this conversation with him, which is why this conversation is not productive. It's just messy, but let's continue.
As far as how old, if he has no kids.
So your non-negotiable is a person who does not have children.
My non-negotiable is a person with kids, but yes, I get how you're saying it, yes.
So you cannot date a person. You cannot be with a person.
I can, but I'm choosing not to.
So
I can be with anyone, but I'm choosing not to.
You're
I gotta correct it. It's my narrative, Cam.
You're like jumping in, jumping out.
She's deflecting. He's right. She's deflecting. At the end of the day, you don't want to deal with anyone who has a kid. Stand 10 toes down on it. It's fine. I don't either. I ain't about to take care of nobody else's kid. Not doing it. For a laundry list of reasons, which we're not going to get into on this video because that's not what it's about. Stand 10 toes down. Now, Cam was not smart enough to point out how much she's flip-flopping, but I'm going to do it. Let's continue.
No, it's not I can't. There's no such thing. I can date whoever I want. I am definitely well equipped to do so.
And she's arguing semantics. She knows exactly what he means. She knows Cam lacks the intellectual capacity for this conversation, so she's taking advantage of that. And what she's doing is trying to make her seem above the fray and smarter than she actually is by taking advantage of the fact that Cam's a goddamn athlete, not a therapist, and he doesn't have the widest and strongest vocabulary. Nor does he have the widest range of use of vocabulary. He doesn't know when to use certain words. She knew what he meant. So this is just semantics. It's a waste of time, but let's continue.
So I'm not going to allow that word to be something that fits what I can't do. I'm well equipped to date anybody.
Yes.
My preference,
yes,
because there's nothing wrong with a lot of men who have kids. So I don't want to put that narrative out there.
Yes.
My personal preference.
You just put that, you know what? If a man has kids and he's available, by her logic, this would be a broken man who created a broken home. So you can't turn around and then say there's a lot of men who have kids who are single and dating and they're great men. Because if that's the case, what the hell are you bothering Kim about getting married for? You see what I mean when I said she says a bunch of stuff that sounds smart to people who are dumb? Your whole basis for arguing with Cam on this subject is that Cam is creating broken homes and broken men create broken homes, and how he's creating broken homes is by sleeping with women and not marrying them. Let's be honest. The vast majority of men on the dating market are men who never married their baby mothers. Most of them are not divorcees. Most of them are men who never married their baby mothers. You guys need to realize only 50% of married couples ever get divorced. I know that number is high, but use your brain. That means the other 50% stay married, which means only one of every two men who marries their baby mother is going to ever come back into the dating market. All right? So the majority of men on the dating market are not men who were married and got divorced. They're men who never got married. You just said these are broken men who created broken homes. So how are they good men now? Divorcees will probably be 25% statistically speaking, considering only 50% of marriages end in divorce. And probably only a quarter of those men, because most people don't get remarried, so only a quarter of those men would even be interested in getting remarried. Probably 25% is about safe to say of men who are available to date and who have children are divorcees, as in they married their baby mothers. The vast majority of them just knock the woman up. So these are not good men. So again, she's not standing 10 toes down on anything. What she's trying to do now is not frazzle anything. She doesn't want to piss anyone off. See, everybody knows you can bash black men all day, and it won't piss anyone off. But she doesn't want to piss anyone off, so what she's doing is she's playing hopscotch. He's right. She's not standing 10 toes down. Just tell the truth. I don't want to date a man who has kids by another woman, because this is a broken man 75% of the time. Only a quarter of them will be men who did the right thing and it didn't work out. Most of them are going to be broken men. I don't want to date them. Say it. 10 toes down with your chest. I say it all the time about women with kids. This makes her argument seem disingenuous. Let's continue.
Is I would not choose to date a man with kids.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're dating a man with kids. Just a scenario.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yes.
You're dating a man with kids.
Yes.
So you've identified that that's a broken home from the jump. With your verbiage of blended family means broken.
I've identified that I'm dating a broken man who is creating who he is. Because we could teach what we know, we create who we are. And so broken people create brokenness, whether it's through a child, whether it's through a relationship, whether it's through themselves. It doesn't have to be a beautiful baby, but you're creating brokenness. And broken people can come from married households.
And this is the problem. You see what I'm saying? Again, you see how she just now said, okay, that would be a broken man. So she just admitted what I said. For anyone who's going to come in the comments and say, Alex, that doesn't mean he's broken. She knows the numbers that I just said are right. 75% of the time you meet a man and he's dating and he's available and he has kids, he never married his baby mother. 75% of the time. So this would be what we define as a broken man. Here's the problem. Now she wants to backtrack it because she wants to be politically correct. You can't be a leader and be politically correct. This is why it's better when men run households, because men don't care about people not liking them over their opinion. A real man, I should say. We stand 10 toes down. We understand everything we say isn't going to be popular. Women want to be liked. So what she's trying to do is not crap on anyone. But in the effort to not crap on anyone, she's crapping on her own argument. This is why I said it only sounds smart to people who are dumb. Now she's sitting here and saying, if you're in a marriage, you can be broken. Y'all just heard her say that. She said, if you're in a marriage, you can still be broken. So if you're in a marriage and you can still be broken, what the hell is the incentive for Cam Newton to get married? Your entire argument was based upon broken people create broken homes. When you have children and you don't marry the mothers, then you've created a broken home. That was your entire argument. This is why you're trying to tell Cam he should marry his most recent baby mother, especially if he wants to have more kids, so that he does not create a broken home or broken people. But now you just turned around and said, broken people can come out of a marriage. So if broken people could come out of a marriage, what sense would it make for Cam Newton to risk his multi-million-dollar empire to get married? When at the end of the day, the kids can still be broken. He can still be broken. His wife can still be broken. What's the point? This is what I'm talking about. This is why I said what she's saying sounds smart to people who are dumb. Because someone with intelligence can see through everything she's saying. She doesn't even really believe what she's saying. She doesn't think Cam Newton getting married is really that important. She just wants to shame him because it's easy, because she'll go viral for it. She would never have this exact same conversation with a woman. She would never look Rihanna in her eyes and tell Rihanna that she's broken. That's why she's backpedaling now and saying, oh, well, you could be broken regardless. I'm not saying I'm better than anyone. No, stand 10 toes down. Say that you're better than them. Say that married couples raise better, stronger, healthier kids than couples who are co-parenting or in a single-parent household, because it is a fact. Yes, there are anomalies where that doesn't happen, but the vast majority of the time, a married family is going to produce way better, way more functioning members of society than a co-parenting or a single-parent household will. But you don't want to stand 10 toes down on that. And because you don't want to stand 10 toes down on that, you shouldn't be standing 10 toes down on Cam Newton needing to be married. Because if you're going to say it can be broken anyway, then there's no point in him risking his money to do it, when it can still end in the same results, which is a broken household because they got divorced, or being broken people anyways in their marriage. Now, me personally, I don't believe in being married and having a broken household. That's stupid. If you're married, the household's not broken. Unless you want to go into the anomalies where people are married and there's abuse going on and stuff like that, which is an anomaly. But I'm going to stand 10 toes down on it because I actually believe it. If you're married and you're having kids in that household, that is a family. That is not a broken household. Now, is every family perfect? No, but that is a family. That is not a broken household. Those are not broken children, and you are not broken people. Unless you're the anomaly where there's abuse going on. She doesn't stand 10 toes down on what she's saying because she doesn't really believe it. She just wanted a viral moment to cook Cam Newton. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up.
That a two-parent household can't create the result of a child who then has brokenness and creates broken blended families everywhere. I'm not negating that.
That's not my point.
No, I know.
And Cam wasn't even smart enough to call her out on that. That's not my point. That should have been your point. So if you're telling me if I get married, I can still produce a kid and that kid can still create broken households, then what the hell would I risk my multi-million-dollar fortune getting married for? Again, something that sounds smart to people who are dumb. And as I stated multiple times, Cam Newton does not have the world's highest intellectual capacity, so he doesn't even realize that she just killed her own argument. I wish she would have made an argument like this with me. I would have fried her ass up like bacon.
I'm making that point. But yes.
But my point.
My answer is I not only identified that those homes are houses without a home because he's not in them.
Yeah.
But also that he's a broken man.
But you're going to be with a broken man.
No, I won't. I just said I wouldn't be with a man. I wouldn't be with a broken man who has multiple kids. I would
No, not multiple. I'm
talking a kid. It doesn't
so
matter.
So you're not going to date a man with children.
No, but let me clear this up because you said I won't date a broken man. That's not what I said.
No, I said, listen to what I'm saying.
I heard you. Let me answer it. Hold on. We all have a level of brokenness. So will I date a broken man? Yes. Am I going to date a certain type of brokenness? No.
Of course you're not.
And that type of brokenness is a man who has kids outside of me isn't something that's conducive for what I want forever.
But will you date him?
No.
But you see, Cam is stuck on the whole dating part because he's an imbecile. But the part that I want to stick on is she's saying she won't date a man, right, who has created broken households because she doesn't want to deal with that type of brokenness. My assumption, the only assumption that makes sense that I can draw from that is that that's because she doesn't want her kids to go out and create broken households. Now, this would be a smart thing if she hadn't stupidly already said that a married household can produce a broken child who will then go out and could produce broken families, which negates the entire conversation and it makes it so that there's no reason to be shaming Cam Newton for getting married. This type of stupid ass rhetoric is why you have a 75% out of wedlock birth rate with black women. Because that's the shit black women say. Oh, well, just because you married don't mean nothing. Your kids can still be broke. Your kids can still be broken. That don't mean you better than me. It does mean they're better than you. Sorry, a married family structure is better than co-parenting, and it is better than a single-parent household. Unequivocally, statistically proven. This is a fact. Unless we're talking about anomalies, which are not the norm. She doesn't want to say that. And this is why we have the problem in the black community. She won't even stand 10 toes down. The only thing she'll stand 10 toes down on is bashing men. But when it comes down to the come down, she don't even really believe in marriage like that. Because if she did, she'd be saying what I've been saying this whole video, which is that married families are stronger and better. Instead, she said out of her mouth, well, just because you're married doesn't mean you can't produce a broken kid. Okay, so then why did Cam Newton need to get married? To pay his baby mothers? Because he has money? Because otherwise this is stupid. You just killed your own argument. And Cam was too damn dumb to even realize that. Either way, y'all, that's my thoughts on this video. Again, it's just a bunch of nonsense that from a woman who wanted a viral moment that only sounds smart to people who are dumb. And by dumb, I don't mean that you're literally dumb. I mean you lack an ability to critically think and analyze what you're hearing. I am Alex, y'all, and I am out. Peace.